we go. Now live, and live. Okay, we are on part 2. Hi there, everybody. We are reading The Slight Edge. And I'm just doing a couple chapters today. And I'm just trying to show everybody how to read 11 good pages out of a good book every day. And if anything, listen to them. Anytime you're reading, though, and you read out loud, you have to go back and do it again. Always make sure to read everything twice, okay? Now, one of the things I do before I get started each time, I read a poem. Because some people it may have influence on, other people do not. Today is October 9th, 2022. And earlier we read The Winner's Creed, which I read that already, but I'll read it again for you one more time, then I'll read one out of here. And then we'll get to The Slider's Edge. My name is Jeffrey Jansen. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, 0311. Hope you guys are all enjoying your Sunday. A Winner's Creed. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but think you can't, it's almost a cinch you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out in the world, we find success begins with a person's faith. It's all in the state of mind. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster. They go to the one who trusts in God and always thinks, I can. And later on, when we get to the to where we get a stopping point for today, which we're not at yet, we'll kind of go over that a little bit. We'll also talk about the Slider Edge, where we're at with it. Okay? So let's go ahead and we are going to do one of our regular readings. I'll read a page of this each time before I get started also. Self-Reliance, it's going to be page 5. This is by Walt Whitman. Now I know the secret of making the best persons. It is to grow in the open air and to eat and sleep with the earth. Henry David Thoreau. If a man does not keep pace with his companions, perhaps it is because he hears a different drummer. Let him step to the music he hears, however measured or far away. Next one by Eleanor Roosevelt. Remember, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. Sir Edmund Hillary. If the going is tough and the pressure is on, if reserves of strength have been drained and the summit is still not in sight, then the quality to see in a person is neither great strength nor quickness of hand, but rather a resolute mind firmly set on its purpose that refuses to let its body slack or rest. And last, Victor Hugo. Be like the bird, that pausing in her flight, a while on the boughs too slight, feels them give way beneath her wings, knowing that she hath wings. All right. Minute. It's a windy day today. I apologize. And who doesn't like a good poem by Robert Frost, right? It's kind of controversial. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. I'm going out to clear the pasture spring. I'll only stop to rake the leaves away and wait to watch the water clear I may. I shan't be gone long. You come too? I'm going out to fetch the little calf that's standing by the mother. It's so young, it totters when she licks it with her tongue. I shan't be gone long. You come too. Alright, let's get into the next chapter of The Slightest Edge by Jeff Olson. You can pick one of these books up on Amazon.com. Go into Amazon, you can get one of these on Amazon, okay, everybody? And let's go over the first chapter a little bit. He was talking about the beach bum and the millionaire. The millionaire does not mean money. It means you got a million, like he was explaining, you got $1 million smile, $1 billion smile, you got $1 trillion smile. It's your personality. It are the little things in life that we do that we forget to do as we find success, and all of a sudden we find ourselves with failure again. And over again, we cross these lines, survival, success, and failure. We skirt that survival line all the time, and we start having success, and all of a sudden we stop doing the small things in life that got us to where we're at. Being kind to people, reading 11 good pages of a book every day, doing your workout every day, maybe doing a couple push-ups every day, taking a walk every day, going out and doing the little things that got you where you're at, we forget all about. We don't think they're important, but the small things in life are. Okay? Personal stories from the Slight Edge Reader. Essential points for Chapter 1. So in chapter 1, the essential points were: the same activities that take us from failure to survival would also take us from survival to success if we would just keep doing them. You already know how to do everything it would take to make you an outrageous success. All you have to do is keep doing the same thing that you've gotten here this far. You have complete control over the direction that the rest of your life takes. There is a beach bum and a millionaire each side of each one of us that makes the difference on how things turn out. You do. Alright, chapter 2. Alright, sorry everybody, these are live, and I am doing these live, so when you go on there and you see me going over some stuff, it's because I'm going over the last stuff first. Okay, this quote is by Ralph Waldo Emerson again. Do the thing, and you shall have the power. Do the thing, and you shall have the power. By Ralph Waldo Emerson. Do the thing, and you shall have power. The first ingredient. Let me tell you what actually happened starting the day after that night of despair, after my solar energy company collapsed and they towed away my nice car. I had no resources, no savings, no capital, nothing I could start with. The only option I had was to go to work for somebody else. So I did something that Gorgeous George, cutting those golf greens and his cutoffs, would never have dreamt he'd be doing. I went into sales. You have to understand, I hate sales. When I was starting out, that was the last thing I wanted to do. When I first went to work for Texas Instruments, my intention was to work my way up into management. They had other ideas. If you want to be in management, they told me, you have to start in sales. I was horrified. I knew absolutely nothing about sales. The idea terrified me. I had no natural gift for it. I didn't have the patience, and I am no natural-born, silver-tongued, smooth talker. But sales they want, so sales it was, and over time I got used to it. And then something ironic happened. Over time, sales changed my life. Not the process of sales itself. It was the training involved. In the course of going through all kinds of courses, workshops, sales-related training material, I was exposed to a huge amount of valuable information. But it wasn't even the information itself that changed my life. Ironically, it was a thing that I eventually realized was missing in it. In case you're hearing that, squirrels are throwing nuts at me right now. Seriously. All that training and information, the thing that was far more valuable even than all the priceless information, it was what I called the first ingredient. After the night of despair, having no resources of my own, I went to work for a direct marketing company. In time, I built up a good-sized sales force and then went on to build a couple of other successful businesses, one of which eventually appointed me CEO. Based on that experience, I then started a personal development training company called the People's Network, the TPN, or TPN. We produced nearly 1,000 television programs on all sorts of topics, from finance to relationships, and I had the opportunity to work with some of the greatest authors, thinkers, and thought leaders of our time. Because of the position I was in, I found myself at the epicenter of the personal development movement, spending time with such legendary figures as Jan Miller, the famous literary agent for personal development authors, Dick Schneider, the CEO of Simon & Schuster, the biggest personal development publisher, Jimmy Bowen, the music producer, and Oprah Winfrey. During those years, we produced and provided some of the best information on how to become successful available anywhere. And thousands of people use that information and improve their lives a little or even a lot. But for many others, so many others, the golden, priceless, incredible, insignificant information seemed to have hardly any effect, or no effect at all. It was mystifying. I had learned so much and gained so much from this stuff. These teachings were life-altering. Yet, I was seeing all these people eagerly taking it all in and not really getting much benefit from it. In the course of that experience, I came to a sobering realization. Everything these great teachers were talking about worked. But it wasn't working. People would try to follow it, but when the quantum leap they were looking for didn't happen the first 30 to 60 or 90 days, they would quit. No matter how much information there is, no matter how good that information is, if the person consuming it doesn't have the right catalyst and the catalyst that will allow them to apply that information effectively, then success will still elude their grasp. It's like eating the best food in the world without the intestinal capacity to digest or absorb it. And my fantastic, incredible, accurate information with amazing insights and a track record of proven success, but it just goes right through you, leaving you as weak and hungry as you were before you ate it. I saw it happen hundreds, thousands of times. It wasn't for lack of trying, it wasn't for want of desire. If you've ever been told you'll get it, if you just want it bad enough, I'm here to let you off the hook. It simply isn't true. Just wanting something doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get it for you. Not even when you combine wanting with trying really hard and working really hard. You can't want all you want and try yourself blue in the face. But it still won't happen. Not without the first ingredient. Why diets don't work. Over the past few decades, I've worked with thousands of people from every imaginable background and walk of life, from doctors and lawyers to bus drivers and manual laborers. They all have the exact same opportunity. Some of these people have become millionaires and many more have gone on to earn a good, solid living. But the majority of them, faced with exactly the same opportunities, have gone nowhere. Why? It's not a matter of luck. It's not timing or fate. Not a matter of intelligence, skill, or talent either. During these same years, I've gone on to the very top with a range of different companies and different product lines, which I knew next to nothing about when I started. In different countries and a different language, which I didn't speak and still don't, and you already know it wasn't my natural gift for sales, which I don't have. The truth is, there's been nothing brilliant about anything I've done. Quite the opposite, in fact. In every case, I've done the exact same thing every time, using ridiculously simple strategies made up of a ridiculously simple list of ridiculously simple actions. The strategies I use, none of them invented or devised by me, by the way, are so simple that if you and I sat down together in a room for 20 minutes, I could show you exactly what I did to create 4 different separate multi-million-dollar organizations and teach you how to do the exact same thing in 20 minutes. And chances are, it wouldn't work for you. Why not? Because how to do it is not the issue. Because if we don't fundamentally change the way you think, then you will have rearranged what I said by the time you leave the room. You'll have reinvented it by the time you have gone to bed that night. And in the morning, you won't even recognize it as the same information. It's the same reason diets don't work. The same reason gym memberships don't magically make you more fit. Because a diet without the slight edge, a gym membership without the slight edge, a solid and intellectual design business plan without the slight edge is like a plane without water. People everywhere are clamoring for the formula, the secret, the path to improve their lives. And as I found during my years with TPN, there's more good, solid, how-to information available today about all those things than there's ever been before. But that's not how it works. If you're one of the millions looking for cookie-cutter answers to the great question in life, you can call off the search right now. How to do it is not the issue. If how to do it were the answer, it'd be done. It's how you do the hows that's the most important. If access to the right information were the answer, we'd all be rich, healthy, happy, and fulfilled. And most of us are none of those things. Why not? Because the answer is only the answer. It is actually doing the thing. It isn't applying the answer, living the answer. It's only information. It's not the how-to books are not valuable. They are. In fact, they are some wonderful ones that I'll even recommend to you at the end of this book. It's just another how-to book. It's not what you need. It's not what any of us need. We already have enough of those. Maybe more than enough, because what you need to transform your life is not more information. Besides, we're all so different. And how many and my how-to many work for me, and a how-to may work for me, but may not be the how-to that works for you. Sorry. As much as we'd all love to quantify a precise, specific paint by the numbers approach to life, love, and happiness, we are out of luck in that department. Because there is no universal, one-size-fits-all method to anything. However, there is a secret ingredient, an ingredient that, once you grasp it, it will cause you to find those answers, apply them, live them, and achieve those results you want. A secret ingredient that will allow you to achieve lasting success in any area of your life you choose. The missing ingredient. Time to pull away the curtain and share that secret. Ready? Here it comes. This is it. The secret ingredient in your philosophy. Now, before you react, I'm not talking about some esoteric intellectual thing. Not some complex, elaborate, or heady system of ideas. No long list of bullet points you have to remember. With clever acronyms you have to memorize. And I'm definitely not talking about some kind of self-hypnosis or about conjuring up the impossible out of thin air through some mystical power of attraction or any other kind of hocus pocus. And most important of all, what I'm talking about is not hard to do. By your philosophy, all I mean is changing the way you think about simple, everyday things. Once you do, then you will take the steps you need to take to lead you to the how-tos you need. Let me put it this way. If you don't change how you think about these simple, everyday things, then no amount of how-tos will get you anywhere or give you any true solution. Because it's not the how-tos that it is, it's the how you do the hows. The reason dieters and self-help courses and weight loss programs and other how-tos don't work for most people, it's the same reason most how-to books and courses don't work for the most people. It isn't that the actions are wrong, it's the people don't keep doing them. Focusing on the actions, the what to do's and how to do it. Not even, because it's the attitude behind the actions that keep those actions in place. Aha, so all I need is an attitude adjustment. Unfortunately, no. It's not that simple. Here's the problem. You can adjust your attitude by getting inspired, by listening to great speakers, by reading an inspiring story, or by your best friend giving you a pep talk, by giving yourself a pep talk. Any of those things can get you moving in the right direction. So far, so good. The problem is, it won't last. Remember the roller coaster diagram. You may get inspired by that uplifting story or inspirational pep talk, but you can't freeze that feeling or glue the emotions of the moment into place. Emotions change like the wind, and you can't stop them. No one can. They keep moving. That's why they're called emotions and not nostalgia spills. You can't dictate how you feel. No matter how much you tell yourself to feel positive about how to step or that how to step, what if you just don't? Today you're excited about getting fit. You feel like doing your 20 minutes on the treadmill. Great. What if tomorrow you just don't feel like it doing it? To find the path to success, you have to back up one more step. It's the understanding behind the attitudes that are behind the actions. It's the philosophy that's missing the ingredient, the secret ingredient, the first ingredient. Yes, you have to know the winning how-to action. You have to possess the winning attitude. But what generates all that and keeps it all in place is your philosophy. Your philosophy is what you know, how you hold it, and how it affects what you do. How you think about simple, everyday things. That's what this book is about. A positive philosophy turns into positive attitude, which turns into positive action, which turns into positive results, which turns into a positive lifestyle, a positive life, and a negative philosophy turns into a negative attitude, which turns into a negative action, which turns into a negative result, which in turn turns into a negative lifestyle. Wisdom, life wisdom. You don't have to go to graduate school, learn Greek, or read thick books with extremely long paragraphs by 19th century German authors to change your philosophy. A life philosophy is something so simple, so basic, a 6-year-old child can understand it. Here's an example of a life philosophy. It comes from Ralph Waldo Emerson in his essay on compensation. Do the thing and you shall have the power. Profoundly simple and just as powerful. The sort of wisdom you can actually apply in everyday life. Nike said pretty much the same thing, only with fewer words. Just do it. But I like the Emerson version better, and we'll be using it again later when we talk about applying the slight edge in your life. There are two prevalent types of attitude, entitled and value-driven. A value-driven attitude, when can I help you? An attitude says, what have you done for me lately? An entitled attitude says, pay me more and then maybe I will work harder. A value-driven attitude says, I'll work harder, then I expect you'll pay me more. Which of these attitudes is driven by Emerson's philosophy? Do the thing, and you'll have the power. Your philosophy is what you know, how you hold what you know, and how it affects what you do. You can look at anyone's actions and trace back through the attitude behind those actions to their source. The philosophy behind the attitudes. Show me what a man does, and I will show you his philosophy. Here's another example of a life's philosophy. This one from Thomas J. Watson, the founder of IBM. The formula for success is quite simple. Double your rate of failure. These days, we aren't often taught that the key to success is to double our rate of failure. On the contrary, we're taught to avoid failure like the plague. You've probably heard the expression, failure is not an option. Oh, really? Well, here's a reality check. Failure had better be an option, because whether or not you consider it an option, it's going to happen. If you go through life with the philosophy that failure is not an option, then you'll never have any good opportunities to learn. If Beirut had lived by the philosophy that failure is not an option, then you and I would never have heard of him. Why? Because the Babe Ruth not only set a world record for home runs, he also led the league in strikeouts. Michael Jordan, considered by many one of the greatest basketball players of all time, winning 6 NBA titles with the Chicago Bulls, didn't make his high school team as a sophomore because they thought he was too small. The next 2 years he grew 4 inches, honed his game, and went on to do pretty well. Over the course of his career, Abraham Lincoln had a staggering record of lost elections and public office failures. For the ungaggly lawyer from Illinois, failed was not an option. It was practically his specialty. If it hadn't been, he would have never made it to the White House, and who knows what the United States would look like today, or if there would have even been such a thing as the United States. And it's hard to imagine just what our lives would be like today if Thomas Edison had subscribed to failure is not an option philosophy. In his efforts to find a stable filament to make his electric light bulb invention work, he tried out thousands of different versions, and every single one failed. His famous comment, I have not failed, I've simply discovered 10,000 ways that don't work. Successful people fail their way to the top. Why lottery winners lose. Your philosophy is your view of life, something beyond feeling and attitudes. Your philosophy drives your attitudes and feeling, which drive your actions. By and large, people are looking in the wrong places. They are looking for a big break, that lucky breakthrough, the amazing quantum leaps everyone keeps talking about. I call it the philosophy of craps table and roulette wheel, and I don't believe we'll ever find it. I've seen an awful lot of remarkable success and colossal failures up close and in my experience. Neither one happens in quantum leaps or breaks, whether the lucky or unlucky kind. They happen through the slight edge. You've probably heard the stories about lottery winners losing it all. They're not urban legends, they really happen. The depth people fall to after big lottery wins of heartbreaking and mind-boggling, and it is only lottery winners. You've also heard the stories about famous movie stars, recording stars, and star athletes who make incredible fortunes, literally hundreds of millions of dollars, and somehow manage to wind up broke and in debt. And when you heard those stories, you probably thought the same thing I did. Man, I don't know how they pulled that off, but if I made that kind of money, I sure wouldn't squander it all like that. But let me ask you a tough question. Are you sure about that? Speaking as one who's made it to the top and then seen it all evaporate, all I can say is you might be surprised. There's a reason those lottery winners lose it all again, and a reason those shining stars plummet to those dark places. They may have had the big breaks, but they didn't grasp the slight edge. Their winning changed, their bank accounts balanced, but it didn't change their philosophy. The purpose of this book is to show you the slight edge philosophy, show you how it works, give you the plenty of examples on exactly how to make it a core part of how you see the world and how you live your life every day. Throughout this book, if you look carefully, you'll find dozens of statements that embody this philosophy. Statements like, do the thing and you shall have the power. Here are a few more examples that you'll come across in the following pages. Success is the progress, realization of a worthy ideal. Successful people do what unsuccessful people are unwilling to do. There is a natural progression in everything in life. Plant, cultivate, harvest. Here's a suggestion that can maximize how much you get out of this book. That will help you not only read it, but also absorb it and apply it to your life. Every time you come to a fundamental statement of philosophy, highlight it. Begin to go back regularly and read through those highlighted sections. Your own personal guide to the slight edge philosophy. Diets actually do work. I've heard people describe the slight edge as sort of a magic bullet, but that's not quite accurate. The slight edge is not a magic bullet because you don't need a magic bullet. There is no magic bullet. There is no quick fix path to success. All you need is a good information, which is already available everywhere, and the right catalyst that will allow you to absorb and apply that information. The slight edge is that catalyst. Marketing tactics try to seduce you with promise that you'll lose 30 pounds in 3 weeks or make money while you sleep, but you won't. You might have some success at first, but the results won't last long. And when that happens time after time, it's tempting to just give up on great information like that, which is a genuine tragedy because with the right catalyst, that information could give you fantastic results. Diets do work. Gym memberships do pay off. Solid business plans can make you a wealthy person. And there's a great deal of personal development material out there that will make you a happier, more productive, more successful, more fulfilled person. Just not without the slight edge. The slight edge is not just more good information. It's not another self-help success book packed with some revolutionary new best way of doing things. You don't need that. Nobody needs that. All the new and better information is already available. It has been for years. This book isn't more information. It is the catalyst that will help you put that good information to use. It is the missing ingredient you need for all those personal development books, how-tos, and life guides to work. The Slight Edge will help you apply all the information you learn from the health book, the sales book, the investment book, the positive attitude book. The Slight Edge is the book you need to read, highlight, and reread along with your fitness class, your career planning, your continuing education, and pursuit of new skills. The Slight Edge will prepare you to be able to absorb all the other information, guidance, education from all those other books, classes, situation, experience. You don't need more how-tos. You need something to make the how-tos work for you. This book will help you take whatever information you want, whatever how-tos or strategies or goals or aspirations, and turn them into the life you want to be living. This book is what I wish I'd had in my hand back on the golf course when I realized I wasn't living the life I wanted. What I wished I'd had in my hands that night towed my car away. Whatever your deepest desires are in life, I want you to have them. And I know you can. That is my passion and belief, and I've seen it happen too many times to doubt it. But you need the place to start. The Slight Edge is the starting point. It's the first ingredient. Alright, we're going on to chapter 3. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to halt everything, and we're going to come right back. Got to check all my battery lives. Make sure my battery's okay, everybody.